We've all heard the name Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, but today we're going to look at how one source tells his story. And it's not like a dry history lesson, it's more like a grand, sweeping epic. So let's dive in and see how it transforms a historical figure into a legendary hero.
The story kicks off with just a single stark date, 1630. Now, that's not just a fact, it's a storytelling choice. The source immediately grounds us in a very specific moment in time, setting a pretty dark and heavy stage for the hero who's about to emerge.
And this right here is the heart of the conflict. The quote on the screen is just devastating. The people of this soil were slaves in their own land. That's not just a political statement, it's an emotional one, right? It sets up this deep sense of injustice that absolutely demands a resolution. Which brings us to our first chapter, the shadowed land. The source uses this word saya, a shadow, to describe the Mughal influence. What a powerful metaphor, huh? It's like this oppressive presence just blanketing the entire subcontinent.
And right in this moment of total despair, the narrative shifts. It brings in a divine element, a mother's prayer to the goddess Bhavani. And notice, she isn't just praying for general help. She's praying for a hero, for someone to finally break this shadow.
And you know what? That prayer is answered. Let's move to our next section, which announces the arrival of this prophesied hero. A lion is born.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the language. The source doesn't just say a child was born. No, it says a lion was born. That's a deliberate choice of words. It elevates his birth from just a historical event to a legendary one, immediately casting Shivaji as a figure of immense strength and destiny. And look at this detail, the number 16. The story really emphasizes that he was just a teenager when his mission began. So this isn't some seasoned man answering the call. It's a boy. That choice really underscores the urgency of the situation and, well, his extraordinary destiny.
His first moves were incredibly decisive. He captures a fort, but more importantly, he starts building an army of Mavlas, loyal followers from his own region. The source makes it crystal clear. This was never just about winning a battle. It was about igniting a whole movement.
And this leads to a really pivotal moment, our third chapter, the unbreakable vow. This is where the mission gets its name and its soul.
And here it is, the oath that becomes the heart of the entire story. The declaration is absolute. Until Swarajya is established, we will not stop. The source frames this as the foundational promise, a total commitment not to a king, but to an idea. So, what exactly is this Swarajya they're vowing to achieve? As you can see, it means self-rule or independence. But in this story, it's so much more than a political term. It's the answer to that very first quote we saw about being slaves in their own land. It's the ultimate dream. And this was their unifying war cry, Har Har Mahadev. By invoking Lord Shiva, this chant fuses spiritual faith with martial fire. It's presented as more than just a battle cry, it's really a declaration of their sacred purpose. So, with their mission defined, what follows is just a relentless surge forward. This brings us to our next chapter, a tide of victories. The source lists a rapid succession of conquests. Rajgarh, Pratapgarh, Sinhagad, Vijay Durb. The names are listed one after the other, boom, 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 to create this powerful sense of unstoppable momentum. It's a brilliant way to illustrate just how quickly the movement was growing. And the scope of these victories was immense. The empire stretches south to Karnagata. He even establishes a navy, taking his banner to the seas. The narrative reinforces this idea of destiny, that he was blessed by the divine, and that not even the powerful Mughal emperor Alamgir could stop him. And this slide, wow, it puts the scale of their challenge into stark perspective. The source highlights a legendary battle where just 300 Mavlas, led by Baji Prabhu Deshpande, stood against an imperial force of 10,000. These numbers aren't just statistics, they're used to build the legend of their impossible courage and tactical genius. So all of these struggles, these impossible victories, they've all been building to this. We've arrived at our final chapter, the dream of a kingdom. And here it is, the climax. The prayer, the vow, the impossible battles. It all leads to this single powerful statement. The dream of Swarajya came true. The victory is sealed with this, his full regal title, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Every single word is just loaded with sovereignty and authority.
Reciting this long, formal title isn't just a formality. It's the ultimate symbol that a new, independent kingdom has been firmly established.
So, I guess this is the final takeaway. When history is told like an epic, with prophecies, heroes, and impossible odds, it becomes more than just a set of facts. It becomes a legend, which leaves us with the question on the screen. What does that kind of legend teach us, and why do we need it?